Shut these heretics! You're out of your league, baby king.
Whoever coined the phrase, "if it took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jakobs," clearly did not play on Mayhem mode. Maybe they were referring to snipers or mashers, I don't really know. But we're not going to be talking about those. We're going to be going over every part that can spawn on a non-unique or a non-legendary Jakobs assault rifle. And we're going to start off with the 3 barrels. The barrels are what give each gun their base name, and each will have 3 unique accessories that it can spawn with. The barrels are the Carbine barrel, the Clipper barrel, and the Repeater barrel. We're going to start off with the Carbine. Of all 3 barrels, this one will have the highest damage and the lowest fire rate. This is what the barrel looks like. As for the accessories, the first here will provide an accuracy bonus of 15%. You can't actually see it in this view, but if we flip the gun around, you can see it highlighted here. Next we have this accessory, which will provide a 10% damage boost. Then we have this third accessory, which will also provide 10% more damage. The next barrel will be the Clipper. This one will have the fastest fire rate, but has the lowest damage as a trade-off. This is the Clipper barrel here. For the accessories, the first will be a melee attachment that will provide a 25% accuracy bloom decrease and a 60% melee damage increase. Then we have the second, which will give you a 10% fire rate increase. The third one here will also give you a 10% fire rate increase. The last Jakobs AR barrel will be the Repeater. This one will have both the second highest fire rate and damage of the 3 barrels. This is the Repeater barrel in all its glory. The first accessory will provide a 15% accuracy bonus. The second one here will do the exact same thing. And the final accessory will be a melee attachment that will increase your critical damage by 10% and give you 60% more melee damage. That'll do it for the barrels, and now we'll take a look at the triggers. There are 4 of these, and a few of them will have pretty significant impacts on your weapon. The first will simply provide a 15% accuracy bonus. The second will give you 10% more damage. The third trigger will increase your fire rate by 10%. More importantly, this will make your gun fire fully automatically. So for those of you who don't feel like mashing your finger to fire every shot, be sure to grab one of these. Any gun that spawns with this trigger will have the Gatlin prefix. This last trigger is going to do a whole mess of stuff. It's going to increase your projectiles per shot by 3, but in return you receive a number of penalties. You will receive an accuracy bloom penalty of 25%, a fire rate penalty of 30%, a damage penalty of 58%, an accuracy penalty of 120%, and a recoil height increase of 55%. This is the Masher trigger. Next we're going to look at the 3 bolts. The first one here will increase your critical hit damage by 10%. The second is going to provide a 10% fire rate increase. And the third will decrease your reload time by 10%. Now we'll move on to the foregrips. There are 4 of these. The first will provide a 10% accuracy bonus and will increase your crit damage by 10%. The second here is going to decrease your recoil height by 30% and increase your damage by 5%. The third will decrease both your weapon sway and accuracy bloom by 30%. And the last will decrease your weapon sway and recoil height by 30%. Now let's take a look at the magazines. Each of these will impact the magazine size and will set the base reload speed of your gun. There are 4 magazines, and we'll start off with the 8-round magazine. This one is going to provide a pretty big damage increase at 20%. It will also set your base reload speed to 2.5 seconds. The second magazine here will be the 10-round magazine, and it will provide a 10% damage increase. It will also set your base reload speed to 2.8 seconds. The third magazine is the 14-round magazine. This won't affect your damage, but it will set your reload speed to 3.2 seconds. And the final magazine will be the 20-round mag. This one will decrease your damage by 10%. It will also set your base reload speed to 3.6 seconds. Now we come to the stocks. There are 5 of these, and each one will have its own unique accessory. The first stock will decrease your accuracy bloom by 20% and increase your damage by 5%. The accessory for this stock will provide a 15% accuracy bonus. Now you can't see this accessory from this side, so here's a better view of it. Next we have this stock, which will decrease your recoil width by 30% and decrease your recoil height by 15%. The accessory for this one will decrease your weapon sway by 20%. Then the third stock will decrease your reload time by 5% and increase your fire rate by 5%. It can spawn with an accessory that will further decrease your reload time by 10%. The fourth stock will decrease your weapon sway by 30% and give you a 20% accuracy bonus. This one's accessory will increase your critical hit damage by 10%. And the final stock will decrease your weapon sway by 30% and decrease your reload time by 5%. The accessory will increase your magazine size by 4, but will come at a cost of an accuracy penalty of 10% and a damage penalty of 5%. Now for the scopes, of which there are 3. The first will increase your zoom by 1.7 times. The second will provide you with 3.3 times zoom. And the third will give you 4.5 times zoom. You can also get a gun that has no scope on it. There's a decent amount of parts, so here's a table to show you all of the ones covered in this video. There will be a spreadsheet linked below with this information and information for many other weapon parts. That'll do it for Jakobs ARs, guys. See ya.